Well, everyone, the iPad 9th generation is still an amazing iPad that I would recommend every single person to buy. I think Apple has done a great job with this specific device, and when it comes down to it, it's still probably one of the better iPads. It's probably still one of the better devices you can buy for the price tag. And the first thing I'll definitely tell you is this thing is still completely worth buying in the middle part of 2023. It's really only gotten better since it first came out, and the fact that we've really only gotten one direct successor of this thing, the iPad 10, and that thing really wasn't even a successor, it was like kind of its own product, makes me think that this thing still probably has quite a bit of a future ahead of it. On the front, you're still getting that 10.2-inch Retina IPS LCD panel, still fairly high resolution. It's a very high resolution, still gets very bright for its, price tag. And I definitely do think on the outside, this thing still looks very good. There's not really a whole lot to complain about within this device. So I feel like that's another really cool thing going on for it. You're still getting Touch ID on the front-facing camera. Overall, a very, very good looking iPad for sure. On the bottom, you're getting a lightning port, which is really cool. Kind of a flat side, but not really. And on the back, you're getting the standard aluminum back with a single camera setup. I think the outside still looks very good. It still looks kind of modern, but definitely iPads have looked a little bit better since then. You have, first generation Apple Pencil support. You don't really have IP certification, but no iPad has it. But overall, very, very good feeling iPad, and it still looks very decent for its price tag in this day and age. Now, on top of that, with its camera, if we kind of hit on there, this thing on the back, single 8 megapixel standard camera, but the front is an ultra wide camera with a higher megapixel count of 12 megapixels. So it's interesting they give the front camera overall a better camera than the back camera, but that's because this thing does have basically the standard, like the spotlight mode or cinema mode, where you basically have the front facing camera following you everywhere. I think that's a really cool thing. We don't have it on a lot of devices, but we do have it on this iPad. And I think this was actually one of the first iPads to actually bring that specific feature. So that in and of itself is a really, really interesting thing that they kind of threw in here too. On top of that, like I mentioned before, overall good camera. It's not going to knock your socks off, but it's still a very decent camera at the end of the day. In terms of iPad support, this thing is still getting iPadOS for many, many years now. It started off with iPadOS 15.7. It has the same chipset as around like an iPhone 11, so this thing's probably going to be supported for like another 2 to 3 years, but Apple could support it for longer. Who knows? I feel like they're probably going to support it longer because it just came out like not even 2 years ago. So I would say from that perspective too, gets a thumbs up for me as well. In terms of performance, it has the Apple A13 Bionic chip inside of it with 3 gigabytes of RAM, and that is still a lot of power and a lot of RAM to have inside of a device. So you are still in very good hands if you're getting an iPad like this, because this thing still has a bunch of power left inside. So whether you're doing basic applications or even heavier intensive apps, this thing's going to be perfectly fine from that perspective. So you're really not even going to be losing out on that much from this specific device if you think about it that way. So to kind of sum it up, what I'll tell you is I feel like this iPad is still completely worth buying. It's a very, very good iPad that has tons of features built in. But I would still say if you're in the market, if you want to buy an iPad 8, you could save a little bit more money, but I probably wouldn't even recommend doing that. Just go straight for the iPad 9. It's a very, very good iPad, and I probably couldn't recommend it enough. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.